So off screen, I asked, will you be working on a new movie? And I think you said absolutely yes. Do you plan to have it be a 4-year process? Knowing that you have this new motto of sort of like, we're gonna just be free and we're gonna go in, I'm not gonna overplan it.
I very much hope to continue the process I started with After We Leave on my next movie. I do hope to do it quicker than that though. I don't want to go out with a low budget and try to emulate the classic, like, oh, we're going to shoot an indie feature in 12 days. I still don't believe in that. I still think that leads to making safe choices that aren't as interesting creatively and putting too much pressure on each moment. But I would like to shoot it in quicker than 4 years. And I think really the solution for that is, I think having done it once, I've learned a lot about what moments that allow for creativity are really worth it and what were just sort of experiments even in process. So my hope is, yeah, I think that if I go out and make another low budget feature, I'd like to do it in this period of a couple of months in terms of the shooting. And then in post, it really would depend on whether or not it's a visual effect movie or not. But yeah, I think that there is still a middle ground between the classic, like, sort of compressed schedule of an indie shoot and the 4 years of nights and weekends that I took to make this movie. I'm hoping that there's some middle ground in the 2 to 3 month range.
Are you already writing the script?
I have a couple of scripts that I'm writing, and they're of different budget levels. You know, one of the goals with After We Leave was to hope that having made this one movie, which I think visually looks more expensive than it cost, that will help me get funding for a larger project. But I'm also trying to write just another complete micro-budget project. Again, like, my goal is, like, I don't want to go back to the place where I'm just waiting for other people to let me make a movie. And I'm just going to keep making films.
Where do you balance your time writing? I know you said pages are not like your main objective, but.
I find it challenging to write regularly. I think writing regularly is super important, but my life is just not built that way. So for me, I try to just schedule out at least once a week where I just sit down and just brainstorm. And again, focusing much more on just like the ideas, like just thinking, like, is this the actual right idea for the story? Is this the right story to tell based on that idea? And when I really answer those questions, then I can set aside a block of time, a couple of days, to just really go to town and write pages. I find the pages come really quickly if the ideas are right. So for me, it's just about creating that mental space of an hour where my phone's off and I don't have a meeting with a student or a professor. I don't have to pick up my kids from school yet. Like, some period of time where it's like, all right, my brain can just free associate. Trying to build that time in, I think, is the most important time. And then it's very easy for me to schedule writing pages. I can write pages in 15 minutes, pieces, if I know what I'm supposed to be writing.
Will it be another sci-fi with like a major moral dilemma?
It would. I would be surprised if my next movie is not a genre movie. The couple of ideas that I'm kicking around now are all genre films. They're not all sci-fi, but I love like what genre allows you to do. I think it leads to so much like visual freedom. You can do so many interesting aesthetic things in fantasy and horror and sci-fi. And I think it's also a really nice way to address big issues, for sure. But I don't know. I mean, I think that my ideas really at their core start from just some sort of emotional image or idea that grabs me, and they kind of build out from that.
Through observation, just being out.
Yeah, I think they come from observation and then reflection. Like seeing something in the world and thinking about how it makes me feel, and then oftentimes hypothesizing from that or extrapolating from that into a sort of genre story.